What's up everybody, John here and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk a little bit about fear and why you should try to do things that scare you. Look, there are so many things we as humans fear. From letting people down, meeting new people, public speaking, changing jobs, asking for a raise, asking someone to marry you, having children, dying, and telling someone a hard truth. All these things are centered around things like shame and criticism and failure, offending others, looking foolish, embarrassment, and rejection. Fear is something that stops people from achieving their goals or even trying new things in life. Today I want to talk a little bit about fear and anxiety and gaining a different optic on it and what beating those things can do for you. But first, before we start, my name is John. This channel is for creators. It's for those who want to create. It is for people who want to be inspired and motivated and share our experiences out here on YouTube. And if that's your kind of thing, please make sure you hit that red subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up and remember to hit the bell so you get reminders when I release new content. So what is fear holding you back from doing right now? Pretty much, if you're a human, you fear something. There's something that you get anxiety about, something that you fear, and it's holding you from trying something new, whether it's applying for a new job, asking someone out on a date, asking for a raise, putting up a new video on a certain topic, or even starting a vlog yourself. Something is causing you anxiety and fear. You know, fear can be an awesome motivator. It can get you to try to do things and overcome things that you normally would not. And beating fear, overcoming fear, opens a whole new world of opportunity and experiences that you can be really proud of yourself for accomplishing once you push through those fears. And once you start to beat fear and overcome fear, you start to gain a confidence and a realistic level of anxiety and fear that comes with certain things. And the more you expose yourself to those fears and beating them, the less likely you're going to continue to fear those things in the future. Let me give you a little bit of a story about me. I have a fear of public speaking. It gives me severe anxiety. Believe it or not, I am not a super social person. I don't mind it, but I am kind of an introvert. I would much rather be at home, not exposed to anybody. So when I was young, I did modeling and acting, and I've talked about this before, and I entered this contest with my agency, and I had to do this runway modeling thing where you walked out to the end of the runway or the catwalk, whatever you want to call it, and you had to talk a little bit about yourself, give your name, your agency, and a little bit about yourself. I remember being at the point of almost throwing up before I went out there. It was at that point in my life, I think I was 18, was probably the thing that scared me the most in the entire world at that point. I remember walking out and my mind shut off. There's videotape of it where I went out there and I talked just fine and I walked off stage. I could not remember any of it. I was so scared. My body shut down. My mind shut down to protect myself, I guess. I don't know. But all the practice I had actually helped me through the thing where I was successful, but my body was absolutely shutting down. And that experience helped me gain a little bit more confidence moving forward. And as I moved forward, I put myself in difficult situations. I had to take public speaking or speech in college. I avoided that class as much as I could. I took it 3 times because I would always drop out of it because I feared having to give speeches in class. I hated it. I tried to do it online where you would go only occasionally with a group of students and do it. I couldn't do that. I took it one time, I dropped out halfway through it, and finally I stuck through it so I could finally graduate. But it drove me crazy that this bothered me because all of the goals that I had in life with becoming a leader and all the things I wanted to do, I had to find a way to get through it. And even now today, as someone who is a senior leader in my organization, I still have to overcome the anxiety. But because I practice all the time, I can watch videos now here on YouTube of myself a long time ago, super awkward, super cringy. It was just because I couldn't get down the talking to the camera part of it. You would think with acting, but I was acting like somebody else, not myself. So it's weird. It's a weird thing your mind puts you through when you have anxiety and fear. Even today, as a leader, I have to instruct people and facilitate training. It still gives me anxiety, but I still sign up, I still put myself through it, and I push through it because every single time I do it, I get better. That repetition and kind of putting my mind in the right atmosphere or through the, I guess kind of putting my mind through the paces of pretending where I was going to be in front of people kind of helped me get a little bit better at it. So what I'm trying to say with all this is that I've known my entire life public speaking gives me severe anxiety, and I have a severe fear of it. I don't like it. I avoid it at all costs, but I still push myself through it. When I have to, when I absolutely have to, I know that I need to do it. I face that fear, I push through it, and it's made me much, much better, and it's opened up so many opportunities for me because I am good at it. But there's a lot of me that's tied back to the insecurities of being a kid and not feeling good enough, and being afraid to fail, and being afraid of the judgment people would have for me. And there's just so much tied into the fears that we have from, somebody putting us down or making fun of you doing something, and then you never want to do that thing again. If you're, there's just so many things that contribute to the fears that we have. Most of the time they're irrational. When I started running marathons, I was extremely fearful because I looked up all the bad things that can happen to you. With ultra marathons, I looked up all the bad things that can happen to you. I've run so many of them and nothing's ever happened. Could there be something that can happen? Absolutely. Absolutely could be. It's a small percentage. And had I let the fear take over, I would have never experienced those things. I would have never run 50 miles, 8 or 9 or 10 times, or run for 24 hours. I would have never done those things. Had I let the fear take over me, I wouldn't have gotten over speaking in public, and I would have never become a leader. I would have never got promoted. I would have never had all the opportunities that I've now been afforded because I pushed through the fear. The more you push through the fear, the more confident and comfortable you are in your own skin. The more you will be able to understand that something does scare you, there is something you fear, but you can push through it. You can compartmentalize it and understand that you're not going to die, because sometimes that fight or flight in your body really makes you think you're going to. Your body starts to think that it's going to. That's why you start to sweat and get anxiety and black out like I did. My body shut down when I was on that runway as a kid. My body shut down because it was in fight or flight mode, and it turned everything off for me to kind of save me. But all the repetition and practice that I went through kind of made it successful. I'm glad I did that and didn't just walk out on stage and just kind of like fall down or something. That would have been extremely embarrassing. But because I was successful at that, I had an acting career and I still continued to model. So you know what? It worked out for me because I pushed myself through that fear. I've taken on so many challenges in my life. I've tried so many different things, and it's made me so confident in so many different areas. And there's been a lot of things that I fear. All those fears that I brought up at the beginning were mine. And I'll go through them right now. I'm going to read these off to you. Public speaking, letting your family down, changing jobs, asking for a raise, meeting new people, asking someone to marry you, deciding to have kids, dying, telling someone a hard truth. Those are all fears I've had in my life, and that's just a short list. And I've had to do every single one of those. And I've come out on the other side, except dying. I haven't died yet. So that's a good thing. That's absolutely a good thing. But I've had to face every single one of those fears, except dying for me. And it's been okay. At those times, it was extremely stressful. But I pushed through it. I made the decision to take the opportunity and take the chance and push through the fear. And I came out on the other side much more successful because of it. Beating fear is liberating. It's an absolutely liberating thing. I don't know how to explain the feeling that when I've gone in for an interview, especially for the senior leader position I'm in now, and the multiple interviews, and just feeling sick and going through those interviews and then coming out on the other side with it all done, not even knowing whether or not I got the job, but just being done with it, was like mountains were lifted off of my shoulders. And I felt so happy that I just did it, that I just made it through the other side. Not even that I got it, that I just made it through, that all the practice and hard work paid off. I made it through, I put my best foot forward, and regardless of the outcome, I was successful because I pushed through something that scared me and gave me anxiety, and I feared it, and I practiced. That's what I'm talking about here, harnessing that and understanding the fear, and having a healthy fear and understanding how it affects you, how anxiety affects you, and being able to still push forward even though you're going through that. It really gives you a lot of perspective when you beat fear and anxiety. I know a lot of people battle it, but it really gives you a lot of perspective of who you are as a person. And the more you expose yourself to things that you fear, the better you become at handling it. You know, I think a lot of people look at us folks on YouTube or in leadership positions, and you think, wow, they don't fear this. They're just good at talking. They don't care. It doesn't bother them one bit. That's not always the case. It's not always the case. Most of the people that you see good at things, do things that you think are really awesome, they've had to go through the fear, or they've just found a way to deal with it. You know, fear and anxiety is a natural human thing. It's there to help try to protect us. But when it's not life and death, it starts to cripple our opportunities. It starts to cripple our success. It starts to cripple us and being able to obtain the goals and things that we want. You know, confident people are people that can overcome their fears. They're people that can control their fears and anxiety. You know, I want to challenge all of you to do something that scares you. That's safe, but something that scares you. You know, there's a lot of topics and things that I'd like to do on YouTube, and I don't do them because I do fear a little bit of putting myself out there. That's why I don't talk about a lot of things, because I don't want to put myself out there. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And those are things I'm going to work through internally with me. And as I progress in my journey in dealing with that, those things will come to light. And it's a journey. It's a process and a journey for all of us. But I do challenge all of you to try something that scares you. If you're a content creator, do some content that you think is something that wouldn't be in your wheelhouse, but you'd like to really try it. And if you're wanting to vlog or you're wanting to create content, I challenge you to do it. Just film something and put it out there. Yeah, the internet can be harsh at times, but you know what? Sometimes it's the best way to kind of get over it and understand that it's not going to be the end of the world if you put something out. And the more and more you do this, the more and more you'll be fearless, and the more you'll be able to push through, and then you'll look back at these things and laugh. All right, everybody, that is all I have for you tonight. I'd really would love to hear some of your comments on dealing with fear and anxiety and overcoming it, because there's a part of me that thinks that every single one of us watching, and especially you and me, deal with this in almost every single thing that we do. And it becomes second nature, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit of the things that you do overcome because of fear. That you do it every single day and you don't even think about it. You just have to keep pushing forward and just realize it. You have to be able to recognize it. And I think that you can be successful if you can really be good at being self-aware, really self-aware, and quieting those voices in your head that tell you you can't do it. Whoever put those voices in your head, your parents, your friends, an ex, whoever put those voices in your head that have given you kind of that fear to put yourself out there, you need to learn to silence them and realize all that matters is what you think. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you tonight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.